Hello, you're Honourable Rachna Singh, is that correct? It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Kendall, an aspiring inclusive education teacher on Vancouver Island. If you have a moment, I would love to talk to you about an educational problem in our region. There is currently no publicly funded deaf education program on the island, and the only such program in BC is located in Burnaby. This means that island families who want their children who are deaf or hard of hearing to be educated through deaf culture or American Sign Language, ASL, must either move to the mainland or attempt to access limited private options, neither of which is accessible to many of our families. My proposed solution is to create a publicly funded education program which uses ASL and English on Vancouver Island to serve the needs of our population here. I propose to begin with a weekend program to enable more families to be able to travel to wherever this would take place, as well as allow students to be educated with their hearing peers during the week. Because of this, I suggest that the Ministry of Education work with the Ministry of Child and Family Development to implement it. This could also be expanded to more locations or a full-time school depending on the needs of the students. I know that your ministry's vision to maximize the potential of all students regardless of their abilities is important to you, so I hope you will consider this idea. Our island community needs this because it is important for students who are deaf or hard of hearing to be able to access deaf culture and community, including ASL, for the sake of their individual and communal identity, as McDougall described in his 2004 article, as well as to express themselves in their natural language of ASL, as Lenihan and Gardner-Welch discuss in their 2023 textbook chapter. Herzig and Lena talk about how important this is for students' self-esteem, self-confidence, and social-emotional development in their 2022 article in Odyssey. Laura Ann Petito also says that sign language provides them with earlier and more complete access to language, which is important for cognitive development, in addition to providing the benefits of bilingualism. These points could be especially important for our students who also have other disabilities, because their additional needs may make them more vulnerable and less able to access deaf culture by other means. This is no small issue, as Borders and his colleagues note that up to 50% of deaf students also have other disabilities in their 2023 textbook chapter. As a teacher in Victoria, BC, I see that the work that the province is doing to prioritize the education of all students within BC classrooms. I highly value this as I come into the field of inclusive education, and I'm so glad to see this prioritized by the ministry, since this is the most evidence-based approach for students with other disabilities or needs. However, this approach alone neglects the needs of our deaf and hard of hearing students. The purpose of inclusive education is to maximize the educational potential of all students, regardless of any additional needs they may have, and providing a specific ASL education program is how this can be achieved for our students in the deaf community, in addition to the ministry's aim of inclusive education. As McDougall describes in his summary of what the Supreme Court of Canada has said, students who are deaf may be an exception to an inclusion-focused approach, and that, quote, inclusion was only a means to an end, not an end in itself. If this type of program is not created, then deaf students on Vancouver Island could become isolated from their community if they are unable to move to the mainland or access private options, which could limit their ability to fully participate in deaf culture. Additionally, this could negatively impact their ability to receive a quality education or work opportunities later in life. I know that we both share the view that it is our responsibility to provide opportunities for success for all students, so I hope you will agree that this is not an outcome we should accept when we don't accept it for hearing students. My request to you is that you set up a meeting with the Honourable Grace Lore and together provide us with the funding necessary to make this program a reality. I am confident that you would be able to help Ms. Lore see the importance of such a program. The Ministry of Education's vision for student success emphasizes a student-centered approach, quote, ensuring all students, regardless of ability or background, benefit from a learning environment tailored to maximize their potential, unquote. An ASL education program is how we can best achieve this for our deaf or hard of hearing students on Vancouver Island. Thank you for listening to my proposal, and I hope you will consider this idea.